At the University of Kentucky, like many other college campuses across the US, some students aren't sleeping enough, only getting an average of 6 to 7 hours per night. For most of these students, the recommended amount of sleep is 9 hours per night. We don't mean to say that no one sleeps in college, nor do we want to present those who don't get their 9 hours as inferior or dumb in any way. We want to raise awareness of some of the common pitfalls that can lead to improper sleep hygiene, and in turn, chronic sleep deprivation, the effects of which can include lower alertness, fatigue, and stress. It may not happen every night, but when you stay up for hours watching Netflix, it's hard to stop. You'll always end up watching just one more episode. Late night video binging can be harmful to sleep for a couple of reasons. Firstly, you'll stay up past a healthy bedtime trying to finish one show or watching the next one after that cliffhanger they left you at. Secondly, modern LCD screens, which are found in most TVs, laptops, and phones, emit blue light. Blue light naturally communicates to the brain that it's morning and time to get up, while red light signals sleep. Extended exposure to blue light reduces melatonin levels, the hormone that helps with sleep timing and circadian rhythms. This culminates to a more difficult time falling asleep, so it's recommended that you not use a device within an hour before bed.
Another bad habit is staying up late studying in the library past a healthy bedtime, or staying there all night cramming for an exam for the next day. This puts you at less than optimal hours of sleep, which can have some physical effects, but more importantly, inadequate sleep time affects memory functions in processes of acquisition, consolidation, and recall. To simplify these effects, you retain less of what you studied in the long term, and in the short term, recalling that material is more difficult. So to consolidate a guide for good sleep hygiene, the most important step is to plan for 9 hours of sleep every day and to make a habit out of it.
To gain a better perspective on these issues, we interviewed a few UK students, and here are their responses.
I watched 3 episodes of The Flash.
I was studying, and I fell asleep on my bed.
I watched Netflix, and I played on my phone.
I usually grab my phone and I go through Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I do it probably multiple times, maybe 2 or 3 times a piece, and then I start to get sleepy, so I take my phone away, put it on the bed, and fall asleep.
Did you sleep okay last night?
I stayed up for 3 hours past my bedtime.
I usually get about 5 to 6 hours of sleep.
4 or 5 hours of sleep, probably.
Okay.
Great. I got a full 40 minutes, and I had time to build that rocking horse.
I think it definitely affects how I sleep, or how I feel the next day, as in, like, I know it's horrible for you because it keeps you awake longer and stuff, so I tend to think it's probably bad to do, but I still tend to do it.
I'm usually really tired, and I usually want to skip my class because I'm so tired because I didn't get enough sleep last night.
Yeah? Sorry to wake you. No, you didn't. I've been up for hours. Who is it?
A little bit panicky when I woke up late because I fell asleep late, and not very refreshed. But then I drank a lot of soda.
Yeah.
Couldn't focus sometimes. I was watching videos in class, just went to sleep.
I personally think it's just out of habit. Like I've done it for forever now, so like now it's just natural. But I usually do it just okay, so I don't want to miss anything before I go to bed.
In the interviews just presented, we asked some UK students what a typical evening looked like for them, and what some of their bad sleeping habits were, and then instructed them on some changes they could make. We really wanted these students to be more mindful of their sleep, to understand what makes a good habit and what makes a bad habit. Next, we asked them to get back to us after trying these good habits out for a week, and to tell us if anything changed for them, if nothing changed, or if they even had time to implement them.
So this weekend, instead of studying before I went to bed, I just relaxed and watched some TV, and then I didn't go to bed. I went up to bed at about the same time, but then I slept longer and I got a lot more sleep and I felt much better the next day.
The past couple nights, I have watched Netflix before going to bed, but last night I went to bed at 3 a.m. without watching Netflix, and I still felt the same as I did when I do watch Netflix.
I've been more conscious of looking at my phone and stuff before I go to bed because I know it keeps me up late, so I've been trying to go to bed a lot earlier. And also when do go to bed, I tend to look at my phone before I actually get to bed.
Yes, I've stopped watching TV shows right before I go to bed, and I've stopped being on my phone and all the bad things like that.
After reviewing our second interviews, we realized that the message of sleep hygiene didn't get across for everyone, and sleep remained a low priority. What we tried to have our fellow students realize is that sleep should be a priority just as necessary for healthy life as eating right. The effects of it can only really be experienced when you factor in all the proper habits and good sleep hygiene. Planning for 9 hours every night, staying off your devices in bed, and using your bed only for sleeping. So when Natalie slept in on the weekend and Kristen decided not to watch Netflix one night, I can't say that they did anything that will have lasting effects on their sleep hygiene. Courtney and Peyton, however, did feel positive effects and had a lasting positive experience.
There are several easy solutions to the habits that cause sleep deprivation. When considering digital devices, there are software solutions to the blue light they emit that are either built in or are free to download. If you have an iPhone that is a 5S or newer with iOS version 9.3, then you have access to Night Shift. Night Shift changes the hue of your iPhone screen to a warmer, more red image, reducing the blue light coming out of it. This mode can be set to change to that warmer image automatically at certain times in the evening, or it can be toggled from the bottom control panel. You can also make it more or less warm depending on your preference. If you have an Android phone that is running Android version 2.1 or newer, then you have access to the free application Night Mode in the Google Play Store. Both Windows and Mac computers have access to a free blue light reducing application known as Flux. This software can also be changed automatically, be toggled manually, and be adjusted to different warm hues depending on preference, like the other software mentioned. Finally, TVs can also have their blue light reduced through their built-in settings. Lastly, it may be difficult to know the exact bedtime that complements your waking time best in regard to sleep rhythms. You can use a website like Sleep Time, that's sleepti.me. This website allows you to type in the time you have to wake up for class, then it generates the most efficient bedtimes based on sleep rhythms. Coming back to phones, the best option for sleep would be to put it in another room or turn it off. This will keep you from being on apps or from texting late at night. Also, if it's in another room or off, you won't be woken up by a late night text, nor will you be tempted to check it if it's out of arm's reach. This might present a problem to you if you use your phone as an alarm clock, but the simple solution would be to just buy a cheap alarm clock from a secondhand store.
Beyond anecdotal experiences, sleep literature points to defined benefits from proper sleep hygiene. These benefits are more than solutions to detriments of sleep deprivation. They are the lasting effects seen after multiple instances of proper sleep. Firstly, cognitive function improves. When sleeping correctly, there is a kind of clarity that makes decision-making much easier. Secondly, physical health improves. Regular sleep reduces the likelihood of conditions like heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Also, a study on teenagers and sleep loss found that staying consistent in proper sleep reduces risk of obesity. Finally, you can gain a stronger immune system with regular sleep.
I've actually been happier too when I wake up. Felt like accomplishing more throughout the day.
I definitely woke up a lot easier. I woke up feeling energized and refreshed. I was able to, get my clothes on, take a shower, get everything done very quickly. And when I got to class, I wasn't groggy throughout the day and felt like I needed a nap. It definitely was a better, more positive aspect on, waking up.
When I'm not on my phone, I go to bed earlier because I'm not dragging out the time by being on Instagram for about 4 hours and then going to bed at 3. I've gone to bed earlier because I'm not on my phone. It just made me feel better overall, and I think when you feel better, you like what you did to feel better. So when I slept, I felt better about being awake. So I think that I would definitely continue sleeping longer, which means that I would continue not being on my phone longer and just going to bed.
Throughout this video, we have shown that some college students are becoming sleep deprived at the cause of bad habits. By the end of it, we hope we have helped inform our peers on how to overcome those habits and realize the importance and benefits of good sleep hygiene. So as a final statement to you, we would like to ask you to become more mindful of your own sleep and to try some of our suggestions for yourself so you can have a good night's sleep every night.